Good morning, good morning, good morning. Lisa here. This is Lisa 6 and 3, and here is God's strength for you and me this day. Our scripture reading is coming from Amos 3 and 3. How can two walk together except they be agreed? How can two walk together except they be agreed? I'm going to read you guys a story this morning. If you can just hang with me for a few minutes, you will see where I'm going with this story. I wrote this post July 28th, 2019, when I was blogging. I was doing videos. I've been doing videos for a while, y'all, and really speaking to people about finding their peace within for some time now. So I was just sifting through some of my old content, and this really just grabbed me. So I'm going to read this story. Here we go. Have you ever been so blind to a situation to the point you didn't recognize it, even with the brightness of the light? I know I sure have. It's been somewhat eye-opening to finally have the ability to see what you've been feeling all these years, but still unable to recognize it for what it is. I'm sure I have you thinking at this point, but here's the story. I recently watched a beautiful love story on Pluto TV. It's a free app you can download on your phone and watch TV live. They show old movies in which I enjoy watching. Anyway, back to my story. There was a movie I watched titled At First Sight, and not Love at First Sight, At First Sight. Oh, yeah, I said that too last time. I love that show as well, but I'm talking about the movie At First Sight. Let me set this up for you. There is a young man named Virgil who became blind at an early age. He never regained his sight, which meant he grew up blind. His interactions with life was that of a blind man. In the movie, Virgil is a massage therapist. Interesting, right? How can a blind man be a massage therapist? Easy. You don't need to see to know how to rub a body and make a person feel good and relaxed. One day, Amy, a successful architect, scheduled an appointment to get a massage and falls into the hands of a blind man. They develop a relationship later and become lovers. Amy talks to Virgil about his blindness and asks him how had he ever dreamed of seeing again. He said yes, but never pursued it. She does some research about the surgery that would give him his eyesight back. At first, he was against it, but later he agreed to have the surgery. And yes, he did get his sight back, but this time he didn't know how to live as a seeing man. Interesting, right? You see, the world he grew up in was all based on the life of a blind man, not one who had learned to see. He struggled with reading as he didn't learn how to read letters. He read Braille. He didn't know how to recognize an apple anymore, as his way of identifying things was by sight and smell, was by feel and smell. He didn't know how to walk based on his surroundings as he learned how to walk by counting steps. He didn't know how to identify expressions that he had never seen, what mad, what love or disappointment or excitement looked like. Can you imagine? You see, Virgil was living in a world designed for his love for Amy. He didn't know how to live and love in a world he wasn't familiar with. His therapist told him he now knows how to see, but now he had to learn how to recognize. Isn't that something? You can see something but not know how to recognize it. Powerful, right? He could identify an apple based on how it felt, but not based on how it looked. I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. Hang in. Amy was very excited. Her love could see now. He could now see her face, her body, her expressions. Everything she wanted was now in her hands. However, the man Amy had no longer existed. The man she fell in love with no longer existed. Amy was very disappointed as the man she fell in love with as a blind man was not the same man she was in love with as a seeing man. Amy wanted to show him the world, take him to Paris, take him to the mountains, take him to the beach, show him her architectural work. One day, Virgil's eyesight began to go dim. He knew he was going blind again. He later told Amy about his eyesight. She told him that she wanted him to see Paris. Notice how I keep saying she wanted him. He said all he wanted to do was see a live hockey game, as he was a huge hockey fan. He was a huge hockey fan and a great ice skater. She took him to the game, and it was there he finally lost his sight. Wow, we would think this would be a sad story, right? But no. She had a difficult time accepting the reality that the man she wanted, one with sight, was not the man she loved, a man without sight. They parted ways, and he went back to living his life as a blind man. But as blind love would have it, fate brought them back together in the park. It was at that point in their relationship they knew they loved each other and walked into their happiness. He counting the steps and she leading the way. What's the lesson in this story, Miss Lisa? The love that we often look for does not always come the way we see it. Amy's desire to help Virgil regain his eyesight was something she wanted. And she felt Virgil's life would be better if he could see, right? But Virgil's life wasn't better after regaining his sight. The life he knew as a blind man was the life he loved and was living his best life blind. Being blind didn't stop him from living or loving Amy the way a man with sight would. His blind love for her was much better than the love she could see with her eyesight. Y'all, this is powerful. Woo! What's the lesson? What's the strength for today? One thing I've learned about loving blind, the things in life that we think would make the other person's life easier often is the thing that they have no desire to have. With that being said, it's just easier to let people live their lives, be happy with who they are and how they do life. And you just have to make a decision if you want to come along for the walk in the park, as one counts the steps and the other lead the way. And by the way, this is a true story, and the couple is still married and happy together, as one count the steps and the other lead the way. So what does Amos 3:3 have to do with this story? How can two walk together except they are agreed? Amy and Virgil agreed that his life would be happy blind and her life would be happy helping him lead the way. Sometimes we just gotta let people be, you know? What we think is a good life is not always a good life for the other person. And I believe that's why Stephen and I have the relationship that we have. I've accepted the fact that there are just some things he doesn't enjoy doing. And he has accepted the fact that there are some things I'm just not going to do that I don't enjoy doing. And that creates blind, happy love. Wow, I know that was kind of deep. But let people be who they be, and you decide how you want to fit in their life. Either you're going to lead and let them count the steps, or let them count the steps and you leave. This has been Lisa with Lisa 63. Y'all go make it a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Be blessed.